Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new here. I am Martina Lily and today we have another collaboration with the incredible Mariam A here on YouTube. Last time we did a full face of Pat McGrath Labs and asked 8 questions to get to know each other better and for you guys to get us to know better. Today we're doing a full face of Lisa Eldridge and we have another 8 questions. So hopefully that sounds interesting to you guys. If it does, go ahead and do the YouTube things, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's get started. Okay, you guys are zoomed in nice and close, 4K no filters. Everything that I use on my face today will be linked in the description box down below for you guys. They are affiliate links, so if you shop through them, thank you so much. And as I mentioned, this is another collab video with the wonderful Mariam A here on YouTube. She is incredible. If you are new to my channel, new to this collaboration, if you haven't seen the Pat McGrath Labs one, which I will link down below for you guys, Mariam is another fellow beauty makeup lover here on YouTube and she is incredible. If you love my content, which hopefully you do because that's why you're here, you will love hers. She does a lot of Pat McGrath Labs palette mothership palette mashups and just a lot of like shop my stashes and using her collection. She's just a true makeup lover that wants to share that passion here on YouTube. She's also a scientist, so she's incredibly intelligent. She's just wonderful. So her channel and her version of this video will be linked down below in the description box, and if you haven't checked her out, please do because she is awesome. We're going to start with eyes. Now I think I have one of every single one of Lisa Eldridge's products that she's got released in each category kind of thing. There's only a couple of products that I don't have from her brand. I never picked up the cream blushes from back in the day and they've just never come back. I do not have the new skin tint because it has coconut in it, unfortunately, and I cannot use that product. And I don't have her cleanser, but I think I have all of the other products that she has. I'm gonna prime my lids with my Viseart eye primer today, which is honestly, I think it's done because I'm not getting any out. Oh gosh, it's okay. I'm calling it a day with this primer, you guys, because it's really, really hard to get any product out. In our Pat McGrath Labs collaboration video, we picked each other's eyeshadow palettes to use. However, in this video, what we've done is picked each other's lipstick. So Mariam has picked Decade for me. Well, she actually said either Decade or Ribbon, and I chose Decade because Decade's actually my newest addition to my Lisa lipsticks. And so I am going to be creating a look keeping in mind that this is the lipstick I'm going to be using. For eyeshadows, I'm going to use a mixture of Vega and Sorcery, which are my 2 personal favorites from Lisa. I do have every single one of her eyeshadow palettes because I'm obsessed, truly obsessed with her formulas. They are expensive, but I personally think they are worth it because they are very unique, very luxury, but also very just innovative. They're innovative in my mind. So I'm going to use a mixture of them, and I think I might also use one of her liquid Lurex's Anae. I do have 3 of these as well, but Anae is my favorite. I also have a Lisa Eldridge blending brush right here, which looks dirty, but I've wiped the product off on my Sigma switch, so won't get any color in it. So I'm going to start off with this one right here, which is French Grey, and as you can see, I have Hit Pan. It is one of my favorite like matte eyeshadow shades in my entire collection. And the awesome thing about Lisa's eyeshadows is she sells all of them as singles, and these can pop out. So if I use this one up, I can just repurchase this and I don't have to repurchase the whole palette to get one of my favorite shades again. So I'm just going to start by blending this through the crease with Lisa's brush. I will say her brushes are lovely, do not get me wrong, I think they're nice. I believe this is also synthetic hair. Do I like this brush more than I like my Refa, more than I like my Sonia G, more than I like my Ray Morris? No, I don't think her brushes personally, but I only have this one. I don't think this brush is a must-have unless you are just a huge Lisa fan like me and want to give it a go. But I think if you have Refa, Sonia G, even BK Beauty to be fair, I don't think you need it. But it does do a lovely job. See, oh, I love Vega so much, I really do. It is such a gorgeous palette, especially this shade. Now, if you want to, you can also really just apply her shadows with your fingers. You really can. She has a brilliant video on her channel about launching these and like how you can use them if you're wanting to go really in depth with it. All right, now let's start these questions. So these are 8 questions that we came up with together to kind of just like share a little bit more about ourselves and get to know each other a little bit more with these questions. So we did have 8 in the other one, and these are a whole different 8. So the first one is, do you often shop via Sephora Australia? And if not, which other retailers do you rely on for your makeup shopping? So for my fellow Aussies, we all understands the struggle of shopping for new makeup releases in particular. In Australia, it's really quite difficult. We don't get a lot of we don't get all of the brands, and really can take a long time for us to get any new releases. Not all brands, like some of them are pretty good. They'll drop straight away, but you know. Yes, I do shop Sephora Australia quite a bit. I'm gonna take this Danessa across my Kitco MY13 now, and I'm gonna go into I'm gonna mix these two together actually. Anytime I can get anything on Sephora Australia, or our version of, well, another version of Sephora for us is Mecca Beauty here. Anytime I can get any of my products on there, I will, because their shipping comes very quickly and it's just easier for me, right? But I've got to admit it's pretty hard. Because, well, it's not pretty hard, that's dramatic, but we don't, like I said, we don't get all of the releases quite quickly, especially Mecca. Mecca never gets the releases quickly. So like they get them really delayed. So quite often I will actually shop, I think my most used shop would be outside of Sephora and Mecca Australia. I would say I shop at Sephora Australia a lot more than I shop at Mecca, because they don't, like Mecca really doesn't get the releases straight away. I would actually say my shop outside of that I use the most is Selfridges. I shop a lot on Selfridges because they usually get the releases really quickly. I pay the 90 Australian dollars a year like shipping subscription, and then I get like my shipping kind of free for the rest of the year. You have to meet a minimum spend, but I'm usually makeup's costing that much that I'm meeting that minimum spend, to be honest with you. And I always, I usually shop on there, or Cult Beauty, to be fair, is another one. Cult Beauty is great for Australians, and Space NK, but particularly Cult Beauty. This is my Pat McGrath Labs Intensified stick, by the way, because Cult Beauty quite often has a lot of discount codes. So I usually get 20%, 15 to 20% off all of my Cult Beauty orders. And so because of that, I like to shop quite a bit on there because I can usually get my products for cheaper. And Beautylish. I shop a lot on Beautylish as well. So they're my kind of shops. I know all of the places for Australians to get their makeup though. So this is a Nay, one of the liquid Lurexes. I really like these. I think they're so beautiful. The other 2 shades I have is Zora and Daphne right here. I have a review of these on my channel as well. I've got a whole Lisa Eldridge playlist if you're wondering. I love these. They're gorgeous. They do not crease. They just set down beautifully. Yeah, basically I know all of the places for Australians to get makeup products because it is quite hard for us to get the new releases. Obviously it's first world problems. Not everyone needs to know or wants to get the new releases, which is totally fine. This is an MY24, by the way. But for me, obviously with YouTube and stuff, and just as a makeup lover, I want the new releases. So yeah, I kind of know where to shop and how to get them. Yeah, mainly Selfridges and Cult Beauty, to be honest, and Beautylish, or the brand's websites directly. I actually just switched to this What's Up R108 to like blend a little bit softer in this crease here. Let me know where your favorite shops outside of Sephora are. I mean, if you're in the US, it's like Ulta and Sephora, right? Like you've got everything you could possibly want, but yeah, I'd be interested to know. I think that looks really pretty. I want to keep it a little bit softer. I just want to pop the smallest amount, because I can't help myself, of Mercurial over the top with that MY24. I can't help myself because this is just so pretty. It's like a duochrome or shifty type shade, and I'm just going to tap. Just need to add a little sparkle, you guys. I got to. That is so pretty. That is so pretty. Stop it. You can obviously skip that step if you're following along, but I love it. I also have the Kitten liquid liner from Lisa, and this is really, really a beautiful liquid liner. I'm not the best at wings, so I'm going to put a wing on. I'm not going to be able to talk through this. Hopefully I can get it in frame. But I'm just going to put, I just want to put a teeny tiny wing if I can. I'm going to leave that there. I do find this liquid liner to honestly be one of the easiest liners to do a wing, if I'm going to do one, because I really do find them a challenge. Now I also have, two eyeliners from Lisa. I have ground coffee, which is like a dark brown, and I have black, and these are gorgeous. They're very, very, very similar to the Victoria Beckham eyeliners, but they are a little bit more emollient, I find. So if you find the Victoria ones too emollient, you'll definitely find these ones like way too emollient. I quite like them though, and they're great for sensitive eyes. And I'm just going to take this MY33, and I'm just going to use this, like I'm going to pick some of the product up and just lightly kind of use this to like smoke out along here a little bit. Hopefully that's getting in frame. And then I'm now just taking this MY35, and I'm actually going to go into a really small amount of the black in Vega. You don't need to do all of these steps, you guys just do whatever you like. I just don't want it to be a harsh line, that's all. And I'll just flick this up a little bit. And then I'm just going to put some of the black in the top waterline. We're going to go ahead now and move on to the rest of our face. Now, primer, color corrector, primer and color corrector, which are the next steps. Lisa doesn't have any of those products, so I'm just going to be using my own. Any of the other products that I'm using that aren't Lisa's will be linked down below as well, so that you guys can see what I'm using if you're interested. I'm just going to take some of my Refi Eye Balm first. I love this stuff, by the way. All right, question number 2 is, what would my dream career be if I could be anything? I'm using the Guerlain Parure Gold 24K primer, by the way, which I love, on a Danessa MY6. My dream career, like if, you know, realism and all that kind of stuff aside, is to be an actress. I would absolutely love to be an actress. It's what I've wanted to be since I was a child, and I just, you know, you get steered down the path of business, you know, unrealistic, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I've always wanted to be always an actress, always, always, always. So that would be my absolute dream career. Or a panda nanny. I'm not even kidding, a panda nanny. I would absolutely love to be a panda nanny as well. So they would be my two dreams, truly. And I'd be really interested to know what your dream careers were. If, you know, realistic situations aside, you know, what would your dream career truly be? This is just the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Balm. Question number 3 is, what kind of podcasts are you into? If you aren't into podcasts, what kind of music are you into? And if you listen to both, answer for both. Okay, I'm obsessed with podcasts. I love them. I'm listening to them all day, every day. I have a range of podcasts I listen to, from your very stock and standard, like I'm obsessed with Bravo. So I listen to a lot of like Bravo podcasts, like So Good It's Bad with Ryan Bailey, you know, Turtle Time, that kind of a thing. All about Bravo, right? So I listen to a lot of those. Then I also have, I mean, I'll listen to Call Her Daddy every now and then if she has a guest that I like, but I don't like religiously watch that necessarily, or listen to it, I should say, for Call Her Daddy herself, Alex. It's not that I have an issue with her, but I watch it depending on the guest. And And then I also have business ones that I love. So I love Diary of a CEO. I really love that podcast. I think that's awesome. I love the guests that he has. And I just find I learn so much from that podcast. I also love Brene Brown's Dare to Lead, because I'm a leader. I find it really important to keep on top of, you know, leadership development and all that kind of stuff. Adam Grant is another huge one that I have been listening to lately. I think he's incredible. I think his work is incredible and very important, especially nowadays. And then I have really random ones like the Shawn Ryan Show. And I don't necessarily agree with all his personal beliefs, but I find it fascinating to learn about. So Shawn Ryan is an ex-Navy SEAL, ex-CIA contractor, I guess. And he has all these like Navy SEALs and stuff and high up military people. And I just find that whole world really fascinating. I always have, ever since I was a kid. And so to hear it from the horse's mouth directly is wild. I don't, just want to make it clear, I don't personally align with some of his beliefs, but I think I don't think it needs to be, I think the problem that's going on in a world of like opening a can of worms, but I think two things can be true at once, where you can disagree with someone but also still respect them for other things and stuff. But anyway, that's like I said, that's opening a can of worms there potentially. I'm going to use this MY4 to blend out my color correctors. I just mixed the Rare with the Sisley, by the way. So yeah, they're kind of my mix. I listen to depending on my mood, to be honest with you. Oh, I also love the Girls Next Level podcast, because I was a huge Girls Next Door fan, and I absolutely love and adore Holly and Bridget. If you ever watch Girls Next Level, I'm even subscribed to their Patreon. That's how much I love them. I really do. I find them really interesting just because I was such a huge fan of that show. For foundations, so I do have the Lisa Eldridge foundation. I have it in the shade 5. This isn't my all-time favorite foundation. I've spoken about this quite a lot. It's not too bad, but I wouldn't choose to repurchase this. I've kept it and not decluttered it because I'm determined to finish it. So this is an MY1 brush, and I've been liking this to apply foundation actually. By the time this goes up, I will have already done a live where I've reviewed all of these brushes, because I got the entire collection, so if you're interested, that is on the channel. And in terms of music, I also love like LawTube, like I listen to a lot of like Emily D. Baker podcast, that kind of thing. But yeah, in terms of music, I have a very eclectic kind of mix. I don't necessarily have one style. It's more dependent on my mood. I range from rap, hip hop to pop to country to hard hitting, heavy like house music, depending on my mood and what I'm doing and all that kind of a thing. I do not like rock music though. I really don't like bands and stuff like that kind of rock music, alternative music. That's not for me. But yeah, but I would say my faves, like Eminem is always in my top artists, and so is Taylor Swift. I love those two. I really do. But I also, I mean, who doesn't love Beyonce? But I also love like Steve Aoki and that kind of a thing. Luke Combs, you know, I have a very eclectic mix, but I would be lying if I wasn't saying that Eminem, Dr. Dre, and Taylor Swift are like always in my top songs. I also went through a big Lizzo fan last year. I go through phases as well where I really just listen to the same artist on repeat. That's probably an ADHD thing, and then I kind of never listen to them for a while because, I don't know, that's definitely going to be an ADHD thing, I feel like. Speaking of Taylor, like, what do we think if you're a Taylor fan? I know quite a few of you are Swifties. I mean, I think a lot of you are Swifties. I think all of us are Swifties nearly. Or just like her music. Some people can, you know, you can not like the artist so much, but also just love the music. What do we think of her new album? It took ages for it to grow on me, but now it's grown on me and I really like it. But usually that's the case with every single Taylor Swift album, I'm not gonna lie. For me, it's very rare that I find I need to listen to her songs, like I need to know the lyrics and all that kind of stuff, and then I can really get into liking them. But yeah, now I really like it, but I wasn't sold to begin with. But it took me ages to get into like Evermore and Folklore. I'm into them now, but yeah. So that's the foundation. It's not a bad foundation by any means. It's just, It's not my fave. It doesn't smooth my texture a whole lot, and it doesn't cut. I don't know. My skin's also not looking crash hot today because I stupidly, I should say, used this Chantecaille primer the other day that they sent me, and it has coconut in it, so I knew what it was gonna do, but I was like, I just really want to wear it. And I wore it, and the primer itself is amazing. My skin, like my makeup wore so beautifully, but it really has caused a reaction, and I knew it was because you know I'm sensitive to coconut. So let's put some of Lisa Eldridge's Lip Gloss Affair on for the rest of the look while we're doing this. Now, her glosses, run, don't walk. And this was the product that I slept on the most, I think, on Lisa, because everyone was always talking about her glosses, and I was like, oh, whatever, a gloss is a gloss, you know. No, these glosses are a gloss. They have an awesome shade range, but they are like a lip balm as well. They're amazing. They really are good. All right, concealer she does not have, so I'm gonna take my Chanel Sublimage today. I have the shade B10, if you're wondering, in this one. You just need a small amount. Okay, question number 4. What is your go-to guilty pleasure? Legitimately putting my pajamas on, which when I'm at home and I'm not filming, I'm pretty much in my pajamas because that's my home clothes. Putting my pajamas on, getting my favorite snacks, like, you know, actually getting like a heap of my favorite snacks. I do not do this often, but like getting all my favorite snacks, like my favorite chips, my favorite chocolate, blah, blah, blah. Getting cozy on the couch, putting on whatever my favorite show is or my favorite YouTube, whatever show, like whatever I'm into at that time, whether it's, you know, a certain movie, a certain show, a YouTube video or whatever, or a YouTuber, I should say, putting that on and just drowning out the world and eating my snacks. And also I will normally sit there and play on my iPad with my games that I have that are my favorite games on the iPad. Which change all the time depending on what I like. I usually like a good word type puzzle game, you know, and that is my guilty pleasure. I just love it. I love doing that so much, just chilling, eating snacks that I should not be eating in any way, shape or form, and watching probably trash TV, to be honest with you, and just turning off my phone and ignoring it. That is my guilty pleasure. Is that the right thing? Is that what you describe a guilty pleasure as? Cream contour, I'm going to take the Amber Matchstick from Fenty. I like this as a contour actually. I quite like this actually. I know quite a few people do. It's really grown on me. Not that I didn't like it necessarily to begin with, but it's like just, it's really grown on me. And then this is a Ray Morris 23 brush. I hope dearly that bronzers, cream bronzers and powder bronzers and stuff are in the pipeline very soon for Lisa Eldridge. I really do, because she's just a wizard with her product lines. Like, her makeup is just exceptional. And I really want, you know, a bronzer. It's one of the reasons why I'm so excited for the new Lancome Tint It All bronzers and stuff, because, you know, Lisa's the creative director for that brand still. So it's obviously her influence as well, but I want to see what she does with her own brand. Lisa also does not have powder yet, hopefully soon. So I'm gonna mix, I've really been liking mixing my Pat McGrath Labs Under Eye Blur powder with my Make powder for my under eyes and my T-zone. So that's what I'm gonna mix just with my Ray Morris Kabuki brush. Question number 5. Do you live by a particular mantra? I do, actually. I have a few. My probably main one is just whatever is meant to be will be. I very passionately believe in that, even in the moment when you can't, when you don't feel like it is. And then you look back in hindsight, obviously there's some horrific things that you're like, well, that shouldn't have meant to be, should it? But yes, I do live by that. But actually my big one, especially as I get older, is this CIA kind of concept, which is control, influence, accept. And literally what I do, so the concept is literally control. Can I control this situation? Whatever the situation is, can I control it? Can I influence it? If the answer is no to either of those questions, then it's like, we just got to accept it and move on. And I do that in every aspect of my entire life, in work and out of work, because I just find we can have a tendency to get so hung up and so caught up with, I'm just using this Christian Louboutin powder for the rest of my face. We can just get so caught up with, especially someone like me who has suffered with and can suffer with anxiety and overthinking and all that kind of stuff. We can just get so caught up on things that you can't do anything about. You just got to roll with it as best you can. And I know it sounds really simplistic, but yeah, I really just try and live by that in like any situation that maybe is not ideal or whatever. Just any situation really. I'm like, okay, I will very rapidly, because I've been, you know, living by this mantra for so long, rapidly in a situation work out, can I control it, can I influence it, am I just accepting this, you know, that kind of a thing, and going through those phases. It doesn't mean you accept everything. Sometimes you can control them, sometimes you can influence them. Sometimes you really might not like the outcome, but it's, if you can't change it in any way, shape or form, you've just got to accept it in some way and just let it go and move forward. I really, yeah. So anyway, that's my mantra. I really passionately believe in that. And since I've really implemented that mantra into my life, my mental health has improved just so dramatically, and just my peace of mind and my peace in general in life has just, it's just improved so much. I cannot stress it enough. It's not an easy thing to do, trust me, but once you can master it, have I mastered it? Sure, there's probably times I haven't, but I feel like I've gotten really quite good at it, and it really has changed my personal life. Of course, everyone's different. My mantras probably won't work, like might not work for you, probably won't work for you, or maybe they do, but like, yeah, that's just what works for me, right? I'm just gonna quickly go to my brows and then we'll be right back. All right, let's finish these eyes. I'm just gonna take this Eyeshadow pencil brush and go into French Grey, which is this one. Just run that underneath the lower lash line softly. I also put the Victoria Beckham eye brightener just in my lower waterline, because Lisa doesn't, I would like Lisa to come out with some lighter coloured eyeliners personally as well as the ones that she has. And then for the inner corner, I'd actually just take Myth and go into this shade, which is Illusionism, for the inner corner. And this is just a Sonia G pencil brush. And then I just have the Lisa mascara, which I incredibly love. I think this is a great mascara. I didn't like it the first time I tried it. You need to like let the formula thicken for a few days, and then it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and it does not flake. See? Stunning. I'm just going to take my Victoria Beckham bronzing brick today in the shade 2. Just take it with this MY22 brush. Okay, so the next question is, where is the most beautiful place you have ever seen in person? It's a tough one. I have a couple, and I know that's annoying. Halong Bay in Vietnam in winter when I went was one of the most breathtaking places I think I've seen on this planet so far. I know in summer it can be quite polluted and not as beautiful, or just like also have a lot of like traffic and stuff, like boat traffic. When I went in the middle of winter, which I did not realize, it is cold up that part of the earth there. Hardly anyone else out there. It was not polluted. It was one of the most serene, peaceful, like heaven on earth places I think I've truly ever seen. It was something to behold, and I am so forever grateful that I got to witness that, how it was. It was just absolutely magical. So Halong Bay is definitely probably the one that I was like, my experience on Halong Bay anyway was wow, you know. The other places is I mean, you just cannot go past the Mediterranean, like the southern coast of Italy. The Amalfi Coast is one really that beautiful. It really is. But also if you go to Bali and you go to Uluwatu and you watch the sunset off of, there's a place called El Cabron, and I'm sure there's other places where you can sit on the very edge of the cliff and just look out at this vast expanse of ocean and cliffs and watch the sunset, and that is also very special and very magical and a must do in people's life is just so serene and tranquil and absolutely stunning. So yeah, there are plenty of other places that I have seen that are absolutely spectacular and stunning, but those are the three that like specifically come to mind for me. Alrighty, for liquid highlight, I have a couple of the Seamless Skin Elevated Glows. Yes, so I have Pink Moon and I have Crystal Nebula. Look how much I've used of Crystal Nebula, you can see, right? I love it. And I'm actually going to take Crystal Nebula today just because I think it's going to go nicer. These are incredible. One of my all-time top liquid highlighters. They are so natural. You can build them up to be quite blinding, but it is so seamless and natural on the skin. It's absolutely spectacular. I know so many of you guys look. I love it. I love her highlighters. Like, I will repurchase Elevated Crystal Nebula once I've gone through it all. And that will be the first liquid highlight I've ever used ever. It's absolutely stunning. And you can use this as a primer and stuff as well. It's not my kind of a vibe for a primer. But if you're someone that really likes that glowy skin, you can use it as a primer. You can also mix it in with foundation. Absolutely spectacular. Truly. Alrighty, for cream blush, I'm not even going to set that. You can actually use her Velvet lipsticks or her Insanely Saturated, I would say, as well as cream blushes. And that's what I'm going to do. And I think I'm going to make a weird concoction and see how it goes. I'm going to mix a touch of Velvet Sorcery with a touch of Velvet Petal and a very small amount of Velvet. So they're the three there. That's Sorcery, Petal and Fawn. And then I will get a brush. This is just a soft angled cheek brush from Sigma. These are awesome, these brushes, by the way. I'm just going to mix them together. And oh yeah, perfect. Okay, so the next question is, if you could collab with a brand, who is it and what is the product? It's such a tough one. I mean, Lisa Eldridge, obviously I would love to collab with her in any way, shape or form, but if I'm thinking, I guess not necessarily, let's take Lisa out of the equation. And I know you think it might be Pat, but it's actually not. I think it would actually be Glaminatrix Cosmetics, because I love the quality of their makeup. I really, really do. I love the quality of their makeup. I love that they're expanding their range too to include now like cheek products and lip products and all that. You know, they're a small Aussie owned brand as well, so there's that sense of pride that comes with it as well. And yeah, I just think they're a wonderful, wonderful brand. The owner's so lovely and so genuine and true and really in it for the right reasons. And I just, yeah, I really rate them as a brand. I also love their eyeshadows. I love their eyeshadows. They're spectacular. And I think it'd be really cool. And you know, just Aussie and Aussie, it makes sense, right? And then the product, I have two. Obviously an eyeshadow palette because it's me and I feel like you guys know me for my love of eyeshadow palettes. But also maybe like a concealer because, or I'd even just like to work with them on a concealer or something because I'm really passionate about that as well. Like a concealer and a color corrector or something. But I mean, clearly it would also be an eyeshadow palette, right? It would have to be. Don't you think that those blushes like mixed really well together? Oh, I do. I'm gonna use the Velvet Sorcery lip liner because I don't have the Decade lip liner to match it. Now the next question is, and this is the last question, what is the best makeup tip you have ever learnt or heard? There are so many. The biggest one that changed my makeup game was thin, buildable layers. And that can be hard to do in the sense that, for example, even when I applied this Lisa Eldridge foundation, it doesn't cover as much as I want, and you kind of have to have faith in the end product that these thin, buildable layers by the end of it are going to all come together exactly how you want them to, which now I obviously have that faith, but at the time learning that is quite hard, and like just holding back just a little bit on those layers and the level of, I guess, the volume of makeup that you're applying. There's just so many, but that's probably the biggest one, especially because layering the cream to powder products for me in those buildable layers has just extended the wear time of my makeup so dramatically, but also kept it, I mean, it looks like I'm wearing makeup because I am, but like as naturalish as it can. So this is Decade. I'm just gonna actually tap it on. Because I don't overly want it crazy pigmented, and I'm gonna cheat and put a little bit of Fawn in the middle to lighten it. And I'm also going to put Silent Sun Gloss over the top. That's pretty. I also have her setting spray. Another tip that has changed the game, spraying my setting spray on my sponge and using that to very softly push into my skin. This I love because it melts, all of the products melt into my skin. So all of the products just kind of melt together. It gets rid of any harsh lines or anything. But also because I have combo oily skin, I was finding that like setting my makeup with like the spray directly was just making my skin like too hydrated and too oily. And so that really stopped it, but also allowed everything to like really melt in and become like proper skin-like again. And then another top tip that I got, or that I have found, I got this from Andrea Ali, is once you've done everything, if you are, especially if you're combo skin, get your setting powder again. I like to use a powder foundation, especially the Makeup Forever one, because I want a little bit of extra coverage at this point, just because you can see like I have a touch of darkness and everything coming through. And reset your T-zone once you've done everything. And this is going to make your makeup last and last and last. And I swear to you, it does. And it just makes everything look perfected again. At least in my mind. But yeah, I got this from Andrea Ali. Let me go and do hair and stuff and we will zoom out and wrap this up. This is the finished look. What do you guys think? I really like it, especially the eyes. I think they were just so soft and easy. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoyed it and, you know, getting to know me a little bit better. And please don't forget to check out Mariam's video. She is truly amazing and just in this for the love of makeup. And, you know, she is incredibly honest. So, yeah, I really do think you guys will like her if you haven't checked her out. If you're watching till this point, you know you're an absolute legend. And thank you so much to my Lily Absolute Legends. I appreciate you so much, as well as all of my members, for supporting my channel. And I hope you have the most amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye!